Hello, Kentucky. It's now official that Muhaim Diabate and Cam Williams have officially signed with Kentucky. And what will we see next? Before the news, subscribe to the channel. The Blue Storm of Kentucky basketball is about to take on even more impressive contours. With the official arrival of Muhaim Diabate and Cam Williams, the project led by Mark Pope begins to take shape for a season that promises to be remarkable within the already legendary tradition of the Wildcats. We are facing an ambitious strategic restructuring, where each piece added to the roster seems carefully thought out to not only regain the program's prominence, but also to create a team capable of challenging the best in the country. Muhaim Diabate, coming off a solid season at Alabama, arrives with the creativity of someone who can become a pillar of the program. With an athletic and versatile body, he demonstrated last season that he is much more than just physical strength. His ability to score close to the basket, 61.7% on field goals, combined with an astonishing 46.2% on three-pointers, reveals a modern power forward, adaptable to the demands of modern basketball. With averages of 7.2 points and 5.9 rebounds per game, solid numbers considering his modest 16 minutes on the court, there's a clear sense that Diabate is just beginning to explore his potential. Under the guidance of Pope, a coach known for polishing talent from both inside and outside, Diabate's path could be even brighter. Cam Williams, on the other hand, emerges as a name that is sure to generate interest both on and off the court. The Tulane guard has had a remarkable rookie season, averaging 9.3 points for 0.5 rebounds and 1.1 blocks, while shooting a respectable 41.2% from three-point range. His versatility is clear to see. With an intimidating wingspan, he can contribute on both defense and offense, alternating between playmaking and a lethal shooter. Williams exudes confidence and charisma, traits that tend to shape leaders on the court. Although he has 3 seasons of eligibility remaining, projections suggest his time at Kentucky will be brief before he makes the jump to the NBA. That doesn't diminish the impact he can have on the program. However, on the contrary, his presence raises the team's competitive level and brings a spotlight to Rupp Arena. What makes these additions even more exciting is how they fit into Mark Pope's larger plan. The coach, known for his ability to build cohesive and resilient teams, seems to be putting together a puzzle whose pieces complement each other perfectly. With Diabate and Williams already on the roster, all that remains is to wait for the official signings of Jaden Quaintance and Jalen Lowe, 2 names that promise to add even more depth to the roster. Quaintance, coming from Arizona State, is a versatile player capable of playing at both the small forward and power forward positions, while Lowe, from Pittsburgh, stands out as a dynamic and efficient playmaker. Both represent the type of talent that can transform Kentucky into a nearly unstoppable machine. This transfer window reflects something deeper. Kentucky's return to the elite of college basketball is not just an aspiration, but a reality in the making. Mark Pope, in his mission to revitalize the program, demonstrates a clear vision of how to compete in an increasingly globalized and competitive landscape. He knows that to compete with giants like Duke, Gonzaga, or Houston, you need to not only recruit well, but also integrate different styles and personalities into a unified collective. And with players like Diabate and Williams leading the charge, the future is going to be great. The arrival of Muhaim Diabate and Cam Williams marks the beginning of a new era for the Wildcats. It's an era that combines youth, experience, and ambition with Pope. Let's move forward and stronger than ever. Mark Pope's first season leading the Kentucky Wildcats has already gone down in history as a clear example of resilience, competence, and renewal. It was not only the fact that the team had reached the Sweet 16 since 2019, an achievement that, in itself, would be reason enough to celebrate, but also the way in which this campaign elevated the program back to the elite on the national scene. The final ranking among the top 15 in the prestigious AP Top 25 and Coaches Top 25 polls is not only a reflection of the victories accumulated throughout the season. It is a recognition of the consistent work, strategic instruction, and competitive mentality that Pope brought with him to Lexington. The rise in the polls after the NCAA tournament was emblematic. Before the tournament, the Wildcats ranked 18th in the AP poll and 21st in the coaches poll, numbers that already indicated some recovery compared to previous seasons. However, the team's impressive performance during the tournament catapulted the team to a ranking of 12th in the AP and 14th in the coaches polls. This rise was not a fluke, but rather the result of a combination of talent, strategy, and execution in the crunch moments. Against high-quality opponents, the Wildcats showed that they are more prepared than ever to compete at the highest level. One of the highlights of this season was Kentucky's ability to defeat teams in the top 10 on 4 separate occasions. Among those victories was the triumph over the national champion Florida Gators, an achievement that underscores the strength of Pope's team. It is important to remember that Florida topped both final polls, followed by such powerhouses as the Houston Cougars, Duke, and Auburn Tigers. The fact that Kentucky was able to defeat these giants of college basketball shows that the program is not only back on the radar of the big powers, but is also ready to challenge them on an equal footing. Another aspect that stands out is the comparison with Louisville, Kentucky's historic rival. Before the NCAA tournament, the Cardinals were ranked well ahead of the Wildcats in both the AP and coaches polls. However, Louisville's crushing loss to Creighton in the round of 64 exposed weaknesses that contrasted sharply with Kentucky's solidity. While Louisville dropped to number 21, the Wildcats rose, cementing their position as the state's top contender and one of the most feared in the country. The difference in trajectory between Kentucky and Louisville reflects more than just on-court performance. It's a cultural and structural shift within Pope's program. While Louisville seemed to succumb to the pressure of the moment, Kentucky showed maturity and confidence, characteristics that are forged through months of hard work and careful planning. Looking ahead, it's clear that Kentucky is building something special. The arrival of new talent like Muhaim Diabate and Cam Williams, along with the existing core, suggests that the foundation for a return to the top of college basketball is being solidified. Additionally, their NCAA tournament performance and wins against elite teams serve as fuel to attract even more top-tier players. The 2023-24 season wasn't just a turning point. It was a clear statement that the Wildcats are back, ready to challenge for the biggest trophies and reclaim their rightful place in the championship. Let me hear your thoughts.